A few times. Let's kick off. So I'm going to kick off with 1991. I was arrested in a Chinese restaurant in May 91. I was arrested with a gun. I don't read too much into it, and I get 2.5 years, remanded to Berlin. I had a warrant outstanding for a bank robbery in Torquay. And so in July 1991, I went to Edinburgh High Court and I got 2.5 years for the possession of the gun. In September, I was getting took down to England for this charge. So they took me to Stockton and then I went to Durham, and at Durham I went down to Hmp Horsefield in Bristol. It was on a Friday. I always remember arriving there because I was there for the Friday to the Monday, but when I arrived there, one of my coaches was there, Michael Carroll. God bless him, rest in peace. Michael's no longer with us. Michael died, I think he died 2011, 2012, it was a while back anyway. He was going through kidney dialysis, and so Michael was a good guy. So anyway, I speak to Michael in Horsefield and the exercise. I got to speak to him in the exercise on Saturday and Sunday, and Horsefield's a bit of a cassie, but anyway, wasn't great. And Michael says to me, "Oh, when you go to court Monday morning," he says, "you're going to be surprised, Ian." And I went, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, see me go to that gate, there's going to be 2 Range Rovers with coppers in it with machine guns. There's going to be motorcycle outriders, etc. and a helicopter all the way to Torquay." And I was going, "Nah, can't do that much." So came to the Monday morning, right enough, drove out the gate. All you hear is all the rest of the sirens blaring and the Range Rover's right enough. And he wasn't wrong, know what I mean? But I was on out of this and I didn't realise that I was a double category A. Down in England you've got category, you've got double category and you've got triple category. I was just on, so I never had a clue what all this. So anyway, we get to court, gets remanded. I'm not sub to say that remanded, because I was already doing the 2.5 years, but I was remanded in custody for this robbery in Torquay. So I just automatically thought, this is to Michael, I'd see him when I came back. He thought I was going to come back there as well. So we're in the van and all the sirens are going, blah, 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 and helicopter, the rest of it. We're up in the motorway, it must have seemed like hours and hours like that, and I was trying to shout to one of the officers or whatever they were called, where is it we're going to? Because I knew we weren't going to Bristol, you know what I mean? But I was later to find out, for years later, because I was cat A for 8 years, they don't tell you where you're going. Once you're in that van, it's just, you've got to look out the window and kind of look at the motorway signs to see where you're going. You could be up in Durham 1 month, and the next month you could be doing the Bolton, down in Lindman, Belmarsh or Brixton or Scrubs, somewhere like that. So anyway, we arrived at this place. I get sick of looking at all these motorway signs. I didn't know where I was going to. So we arrived in this place and we drove in. I could see it says Hmp Long Lartin. And I went, what is this? You know what I mean? So we get into reception and the armed coppers, they were all away. So prison officers, they took her, changed out my clothes, and took over the reception. I says to one, "Where are we?" And he went, "Oh, you're in Hmp Long Lartin, Evesham." He says, "Worcestershire." I think it was at 30 miles from Birmingham. So I was like, right, and I went, I don't really want to be here. And he went, "Oh, you want to be here, all right." He says, "This is a good jail." I thought I was quite comfortable with that weekend I'd spent with Michael, and thinking I just wanted to get back there because I'm not going to know anybody in here. So anyway, we got to bed, packed that, went over, and the screw that took me over, the prison officer, he's like, "Oh, you're going to E-Wing, the Gangster Wing?" And I went, "The Gangster Wing?" I went, "All right." And in my book, I've actually got a chapter I've called it the Gangster Wing. This is me arriving here. So anyway, I got onto the wing and I'm standing outside the office, waiting to get allocated to a cell. And this wee guy comes down. found out his name was Tony, introduced himself, and he's like to me, how long are you doing in that? And I went, 2.5 years. He looked at me all funny, 2.5 years. And because by this time I realised I was a top security, and I think it started at 4 or 5 years. I mean, people are going to be wondering how I've arrived here in 2.5 years, you know what I mean? So I got took up to the cell, Screw came out, took me up to my cell, and before that, we Tony was like, where did you come from? And I was like, all flustered, and I'm going, I came from Berlin, I went to Stockton, I went to Durham, I was down in Bristol, then from Bristol, went to court, then came up here, and he looked at me as if to say, aye, no bother, mate, you're wrong, you know what I mean? I wasn't stupid, I was 30 years of age at the time, and I was a bit clued up. But up to that stage, I'd only done 18 months, you know what I mean? I hadn't done a big sentence, done my Boston and all that, and wee sentences. But I was pretty clued up, and I was going, yeah, I'm fucking dodgy, but that's the way it seemed. So anyway, up to the cell, and Tony comes back in on my pal, wants to see you. So I went to see this guy, and this guy's sitting there. This guy looked apart and that. And he went, where'd you come from, mate? I'm trying to do a Scouser accent, I can't do it. I can't do any of the accents for the years I spent in there. But I'm up to Glasgow, and I told him I'd been to court, and they went, you depositions? And I went, depositions? And I went, oh, the statements, I got a file at court that day. And I went, I didn't know they were called that, you know what I mean? So I went and got them, I showed them, and I explained to him that one of the other co-accused, Michael Healy, was on the run, and he'd escaped from Shotts prison, and I says, I think the authorities think that Mick's going to break us out and all that, so, and Mick had been accused of a few murders and all that up there as well, and there was all sorts of rumours flying about up in Glasgow gangland at the time, and but Michael, it's sad to say, the other Michael Healy, he's actually dead as well, you know what I mean? I was at his funeral 4 years ago, so rest in peace Michael. Michael was a legend, you know what I mean? But anyway, this guy turned out in the cell, his name was John Haase. He became, I didn't know, he was at the time, he was just finishing a 14-year sentence, but he ended up coming a bit of a controversial figure as well, you know what I mean, in the years. So he's like, oh, you're alright mate, you're alright, blah blah blah. I went, thank fuck for that. So back to my cell, so just to get a wee bit of the running of Long Lartin at the time. I'm saying I didn't want to be there. After 2 or 3 weeks, I was like, fuck's sake, this place is like fucking Butlins. I says, that Horsefield with Michael Carroll is a fucking shithole. Hmp Bristol Horsefield. That was just like Berlin, like a local jail. This Long Lartin, it was, I can only describe it, it was very relaxed. So I didn't go to work. I could up in the morning, my cell door was opened at 8 o'clock in the morning. I could go to the gym in the morning, afternoon and night, 3 times a day. And then I could have a drink. Could you believe that? A drink. People were making hooch. Didn't really know what hooch was at the time. But I ended up becoming an alcoholic after a few years. And that was great. As anybody knows, in jail, to have that wee escape, having a joy or a hooch or whatever, it takes you over the wall, without a doubt, you know what I mean? Because just lying there every night, because there was no TVs, like just reading a book or that, you've got to have a wee escape. So sometimes I had an escape. It wasn't once a week, it was about 3 times a week, maybe 4, if the boys of the hooch were doing well. So Long Lartin at the time, started to get to know people, and a Friday was canteen day. That's when you get paid your wages, and I think you could change your laundry and all that day. So there was no work that day. It was quite a good routine, relaxed regime. And I didn't know that, see, at that time, you can actually, I was in E-Wing. In Scotland they call it halls, but down there they call it wings. And nobody could understand me at first as well. No, I mean, I had the slowed down my accent and all that, and after a while, one of my co-crews says, Christ, you're speaking like somebody from Bearsden, which is a snobby part of Glasgow. I had to slow down my accent, because everybody were telling me after about 6 months or a year that after I'd been in a while, they were going in. Do you know that we were just nodding our head to you? I was in these parties having drinks, and I was smoking hash as well, by the way, and people used to just go like that. We didn't know what you were saying for the first 6 months, a year. So that's how I slowed my accent down. That's how I was saying with the Bearsden accent and that. And so as I say, the routine Friday was good. You done your laundry, you got your laundry changed in the morning, then it was canteen. And with the canteen, with a main canteen in Scotland, you could go and buy a pot noodle, tin of tuna, a Mars bar. That was it. But see, this place, you could go to the canteen, believe it or not. I couldn't believe it. You could buy steaks, onions, every vegetable, every spice and herb, mince, Black Forest cattle and ice cream. And there was cookers there as well. Down at the bottom of each wing, there was cookers there, and everybody was allowed to cook. You could even get into the office. Listen to this, you could get into the office